Yeah.
And you were also telling me that you had like a gambling addiction.
Yeah.
Where did you even have the money to gamble it away?
This is the
I
thing
mean,
when
yeah.
when it's a whole other can of worms. But when I was in my early 20s, you know, um, I got really bad with the drugs,
Uh-huh.
and I was shoplifting a lot and doing a lot of illegal stuff to support my habit.
Yeah.
So I got incarcerated.
Uh-huh.
So when I came out, probably that was away for like a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
I was clean all that time, and then when I got out, I was clean for like another year and a half. So in that time, and this seems to always be my pattern, when I get clean, something has to fill that void. Instead of dealing with myself, I started going to Atlantic City.
Uh-huh.
And I've never been rich, but I worked hard. I worked a lot of overtime, and I got to the point where I would go, when I got paid, and I would go to Atlantic City. I'd have like $1,000 or whatever more, and at one point I'd have stacks of chips in front of me this high.
Uh-huh.
People would try to pull me away, like, let's go. By the end, put it this way, by the end of the night, I was there when they were vacuuming the carpets, when nobody else was in there, and I was using my last dime on a slot machine, just hoping for some kind of wild luck, and I didn't even have bus fare to get
So
home.
you're kind of saying during the time when you were clean from drugs,
Yup.
you kind of needed something else to
Yep.
be addicted to. Is that what
Absolutely,
you're trying to
yep.
say? Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit more about being incarcerated? Like, what was the official charge?
Just, possession of CDS, controlled dangerous substance, drugs, and theft. Because I would steal stuff from pharmacies, like diabetic test strips and things like that, and cash them in for money.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah.
Um, and what, you would just steal them from the counter? I guess I'm
No,
trying to
well,
think
it
about.
was a time where they weren't behind the counter. There's a
Uh-huh.
reason for that now, probably
Got
part
it.
of it, but I used to go in and I was serious about it. Like, there was footwork that was put in when, like, I would, make sure there was no, like, strong men working in there that were going to chase
Uh-huh.
me. I'd have my escape route planned out, everything.
Yeah.
And I'd go in, I would grab a handbasket, I'd go to the back where they were at, fill it up to the top, and I'd go out the side fire exit, have my ride waiting. They already knew what highway to get on, and I'd be 3 towns away in 5 minutes by the time the cops even showed up at the
What
store.
were the diabetic supplies? Were they just worth a lot? Is that
They,
why
they
you were
cost
stealing them?
$100 a box in a store.
Oh,
I don't know
uh-huh.
what the racket was, but it was something big, because I would bring them to this, like bodega type thing in Philadelphia, and I would get $33 a box. So I'd leave there with like
Got it.
$1,400 every other day. I was going to different states to do this because, there's a lot of people doing it. So I would go somewhere where nobody else was hip to it, and
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't realize that was a thing. But
Yeah,
that's-
it died out, and that's not easy to do that anymore. I don't even know whatever became of that. Like, I lost I'm rusty. I can't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Well, tell me about being incarcerated itself. Like, what uh, was that experience like?
That was horrible.
Horrible?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I did what I did to deserve that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my opinion of that is, if you're any kind of a decent person,
Uh-huh.
even if it's deep down, or if you were ever taught any kind of manners or values or anything, you're going to hate being in a place like that, because, I mean, there is a lot of ignorance. The noise, just from the moment you wake up to the time you go to bed, the ignorant things you got to hear, and you're dealing with certain people who really do belong there.
Uh-huh.
You got people where they'll say, oh, well, he's a drug guy, he doesn't belong there, or this person, they don't. There are people that, like, genuinely belong there, that are just ignorant.
Was it good for you, though, in a way, because it got you clean for
Yeah,
the time
definitely.
you were there?
Yeah,
In
definitely.
that kind of strange way? Okay.
That's always been a thing. Even with treatment centers that I've gone to, it's never been about what they taught me there. That had nothing. It was just about having that time out to let my head clear up and come to my senses and realize, how I was living and what I was. I already knew that on my own. They didn't have to tell me, So yeah, it definitely benefited me to have that time out.
So I'm curious hearing more about living on the street, like what that's like, because like a lot of New Yorkers, I walk by people on the street all the time.
it's-
I don't really know their stories, so I kind of want to know what
it's-
that's like.
obviously it's horrible because I
Yeah.
sleep on cardboard at night, you know,
Yeah.
and I shouldn't be doing that right now. Like, you know, if I didn't burn the bridges I had, or if I wasn't using drugs, or, you know, didn't put myself in a situation, I could, you know, granted I had my own apartment, you know, months back, but even though if I didn't have that, so I could still live with my family, you know, but now because of that I can't. So it's horrible, obviously, living on the streets. However, it's changed a lot of my thinking, and it's changed a lot of biases I had. I'll tell
About
you
the
what,
type of people that are
man,
there.
like, I tell you what, like, I've met some really, really good people that have gone out of their way every day, whether it's money or pull over in their car because they see me panhandling and get out and go in McDonald's and buy me food, or, you know, ask me if I need a blanket or clothing, or, you know, just out of the goodness of their heart, you know what I mean? And it's everything, like every ethnic background, every financial background, male, female, young kids, older, like everything. Like,
See, I think that's interesting. I thought you were going to tell me the exact opposite.
Nah.
That people just walk by you and don't.
there's always
care
that because there's so
and
many
stuff like
people,
that.
but
Yeah.
I tell you what, there's a lot more good people out there than I
Oh,
thought
that's
there
actually
were.
good to hear. It's
Yeah,
interesting perspective.
yeah,
Never
believe
thought
me,
of it like that.
absolutely. Like,
Do you think, though, like I take the subway every day, you know, and you always see people panhandling on the subway and stuff. Do you think some people take advantage of that?
absolutely. You know what? This is what I do.
Yeah.
I don't bother people. I'm not good at that. I don't handle rejection well. After
Yeah.
one or two people tell me no, I'm not good at that. I write up a sign. It says anything helps, including work, which I mean. Anything helps, including work. Thank you for your kindness. God bless. That's it. So if somebody wants to, they can. Like, I feel like, I've had people tell me, you ain't gonna make nothing unless you're, and I don't feel that way. I feel like the same person could be standing there asking everybody. I'm sitting there with a sign. Somebody wants to do it, they're gonna do it. So why bother them? You know, they see me, I'm there. If they want to do, you know, it's embarrassing, and I never, you know, thought I would be doing that. But like I said, you know, there's a lot of good people out there.
Do the people on the street in New York kind of do you have like a brotherhood, so to speak, like, or do you guys kind of keep to yourselves?
I
You know, how would you
have
describe
one person out there like a partner,
that? Yeah.
and I stick with him. However, you know, you see the same people over and over again that are also on the streets.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't call it like a brotherhood because I wouldn't trust them for, you know, but I mean, you do there's kind of like, you know better. You don't steal from another homeless person, or you don't, you know, like.
There's a code.
Yeah, there should, for the most part, or like
Yeah.
supposed to be, you know, if this person's on that corner panhandling, you don't go over there and do that, like cut their throat by going and stand, you know, people do it anyway, but.
What about like the city? Do you think would you ever go to a shelter, or is that just a hassle, or what's that like?
It's the only reason I don't, and I keep saying I ain't gonna be out here much longer. I'm either gonna go into treatment or try to get housing or something. But the shelter system, it's not their fault. But you go there, you walk in there, they don't care what your circumstances are. They're gonna put you wherever they're gonna say go to Bedford Atlantic in Brooklyn, or go here in the Bronx, or you know. And it's just like I don't want to do that.
Because they just want to put you wherever they can.
Yeah, and some of them places, like I'm not going there to fight every day or sleep with one eye open or watch my belongings. You know, I'd be better off on a damn street.
What about the police? Do the police leave you guys alone, or
Listen,
what's that
I
like?
tell you what, my hat's off to the NYPD because, you know, you hear a lot of things about them before you come here, and I thought my own things about police. The only time they've ever come to me out here, and it's been many times, hey, you okay? Do you need a shelter? You need to go anywhere? You need anything? Yeah, like nothing but good.
And then the biggest question I've always had about homeless people or people on the street is, in New York, is where do they go in wintertime? Where do you guys go?
That's, you know, a lot of people go. Thankfully, I haven't been out there in the winter. Actually, I was in Newark, New Jersey this winter.
So you haven't been out there that long? Or?
Nah, like I said, like going on like 2 months.
Oh,
And in the
okay.
winter, I was for a couple weeks. People stay in bus stations, you know, even though they chase you out, and it's like whack-a-mole. They'll tell you can't lay here, you can't sleep there, you got to go. They go to another corner of the building and see how long they can get away with it before they chase, you know. And it's just like, or people go to rehabs, or they actually do go to shelters or whatever. You don't notice. I guess, you know, anytime I was in a treatment center like Salvation Army, I've been there before. You notice when the nice weather comes, you go from December having 60 people in there to July there's 19 because people, they don't care, they don't mind sleeping on the street or whatever, you know. Obviously, you should want to you should want better for yourself, but some people, if that's how they're living, they just figure, you know, I'd rather it's warm out, I don't mind
Are
sleeping.
you getting any? I'm just curious. Are you getting any type of like public assistance now? or
Nah,
anything
I
like
got
that?
it one time, and I didn't follow up with the appointments, you know, that I had to go to, so they cut it off. So I got like food stamps for like 1 month. You know, it's my own fault. I didn't show up. Like I could probably go back and renew it and stuff like that.
And
But-
well, where do you see your future? Like, where do you see things going?
Well, right now I'm on the fence because in the past, anytime I was down, I've been down many times, but I never would allow myself to stay there. I always get back up and I'd always land on my feet, and I'd always, you know what, I don't know what other people saw me as, or I don't know what I actually was, but growing up my whole life, I refused to accept that I was white trash. Like I always tried harder. Like I educated myself, you know, with a lot of things, and you know, people could think whatever, but I know that I know a lot and I've seen a lot, you know, and I know that, you know, I treat people good. So I always tried to, like, you know, believe that I was better than that. And I might, but I always tried harder. Now I'm at the point where it's like, I got to a point where this time when I fell down, I don't know if I want to get up again. Like I always, you know, I would always get back up and try harder. And there's part of me, obviously, I don't want to go on living like this. It seems unbearable. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm ready to accept the mess I made of my life. Like I really screwed up bad this time, and I don't know if I wanna. I don't know if I have it in me to deal with it.
Like the energy, the motivation.
Yeah,
is
like,
that
you
kind
know,
of
knowing all the everything, the physical stuff that I'm gonna go through when I stop, the emotional stuff that I'm gonna go through when I wake up and realize the mess that I made of myself. You know, the financial burdens, like I had, you know, a secured credit card trying to fix my credit, you know, a couple months ago. I was making my payments every month. Stopped doing that. That went straight down. I ruined that. My bank accounts are in the negative. They're probably canceled by now. Like that, you know, different things, you know. I probably have legal consequences now for stupid stuff. You know, my license is probably suspended. Like just every aspect of my life. So it's like, you know, I always in the past had the strength to get up and fix it and deal with it, even though it wasn't. Now I don't know if I do. I just want to stay down, but at the same time, I can't deal with the, you know, living like this. So I don't know what to do. Like every day I think about it. Like, all right, I got to go to treatment. I got to get some help. Yet here I am. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you get there. You know, I hope you find that strength inside you someplace.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate you sharing your story. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thanks.